Hi everyone. Today we'll talk about the advantages of punching with a vertical fist and landing with the last three knuckles. So first, why the last three knuckles? When you make a fist, the last three knuckles are more in alignment with the forearm and elbow than the first knuckle, which means that upon impact, there's a greater transfer of power using the last three knuckles because the wrist is more stable. If you land with the first two knuckles, only one of them is supported by the forearm and elbow. A better alignment also means that there's less strain on the wrist, which means that there's less of a chance of spraining your wrist. Boxers' fractures are possible, so that's definitely something to consider, especially if you tend to be a gloveless headhunter. But when it comes to punching to the body, there's much less of a risk, as long as you can avoid punching the hip bones. Now, why a vertical fist? First, it's easier to punch through the opponent's guard, whether you're wearing gloves or not. Second, it's harder to see the punch coming because we're not turning over the fist or flaring the elbow. Yes, when you punch with a pronated fist, you should try to begin and end the movement with your elbow pointing down. But trying to keep your elbow down while turning over your fist is not a natural movement. Sure, you may be able to do it in practice, but we all know what happens to technique in a high-stress scenario or when fatigue begins to set in. Yeah, it goes right out the window. So the elbows are eventually going to flare out. It's just a matter of when. Another disadvantage of your elbows flaring out is that you become vulnerable to takedowns. Not only because of the elbow, but also because the shoulder isn't in an optimal position to generate downward force when the elbow is pointing to the side. On the contrary, when you punch with a vertical fist, your elbow naturally wants to snap back down, which increases the chances of defending takedowns successfully due to the timing and positioning of your arm. Now, we are talking about only shaving fractions of a second off here, but in fighting, fractions of a second can mean the difference between winning and losing. If you're still in doubt of the effectiveness of the vertical fist, you definitely haven't seen the video I made on UFC champ Alex Pereira. But check out his arch rival here, Israel Adesanya, using it against Jared Cannonier at UFC 276. He doesn't aim to land with the last three knuckles like Alex Pereira does, but he still demonstrates how effective a vertical fist is. After being criticized for decades for punching with our traditional sun fists, it's nice to see more and more pro fighters and champions adopting vertical fists as part of their arsenal. If you'd like to learn about other Wing Chun techniques that UFC champions have adopted into their arsenal, click on this video right here, and I'll catch you in the next one.